Hello, Squid and Octo kids! Welcome to It's a Splat Theory. I'm your host, Kat, and today I want to talk about the side order trailer and side order itself. But before we get into that, I want to say I retract my lack of real enthusiasm for the previous video I made about side order and the DLC in general. At the time, I didn't see the direction, but now, after a trailer like that, I know they've put in so much work and are trying to stay true to the lore and taking a lot of care with this. So without a better starting point, let's super jump right into this. So first we're going to start with some things I noticed while watching it. We play as Agent Jade again. That's right. For the first time we play as the same agent twice. This could mean so much for the future of the hero modes and story modes. Who knows? Maybe for Splatoon 4 we play Agent 4 again. Or maybe we end up playing a game where we play as all of the agents, like rotate through them as we play and have a story with all of them in it. It just opens the door to so much. Another thing is that Pearl has or is now a drone, which is a bit confusing, since in the first side order trailer, we see a picture of her assumedly waking Agent 8 up, and we see her as an Inkling, and she's in the new Inkopolis Square, which kinda confuses me, since is she a drone or not? But I'm going to save trying to answer that for the theory part of the video. Another thing we need to talk about is Oct, which, before we get into talking about her, can we talk about her name? I know it's 8 in German, but I also have no idea how I'm actually supposed to say it. But that's besides the point. And the point is that we get to meet Dead Fish. Like, actually meet her. And I think she's an actually big part of the DLC. Also, because of one of her lines we see in the trailer, the one about her and Marina going way back, I think that we will learn a lot more lore about both of them in this game. Also, another point that pertains to this is in the first trailer we see what we know now is Agent 8 looking out a window in an elevator with someone's boots in the corner of the picture. And we see in the new trailer that Dead Fish, who wears boots, is in an elevator. So that's one mystery solved. We also see a factory, which is making stuff like plushies, and also mem cakes. And we get to play with dualies. Yay, my favorite weapon type. There's also the robot fish skeletons, which is what this picture was. There's also lots of glitchy stuff, and we see Agent 8 and the dualies kinda appear from polygons and then emerge into the normal things. The bit of gameplay we saw seems to be sort of salmon run-ish with those fish robot things. Another thing we see is what looks like meat grinders, and they are making the white ink. Another thing we see is a lot of numbers. There are numbers when you hit the fish things or ink anything, I think. There's also walls of numbers, or maybe it's text. It's in English, so we don't really know. We also see lots of glitchy stuff. There's also the black ink with the color changing ripples in it, which honestly looks super cool. And then in the last part, we see this giant spinning machine with different layers tapering down, almost like a cake but upside down. That's close to all the details I could find in this trailer. While there is a chance I missed some or didn't say some because they were too obvious, like the palette, or I didn't have anything to add. But if you felt like I missed one, comment it below. But now it's time to start theorizing and trying to predict the story and what is going to happen in side order. Alright, so I'm going to jump into it. And it might be a little jumbled, but we'll make it work. I'm not writing the whole DLC, just some details I think are going to be in there, and some ways stuff could happen. First detail, I think, which honestly might be revealed at the end, is that the whole DLC, or most of it, is in a simulation. I think it's Marina's fault everyone is in there. Okay, let me explain. Because this does make sense. There's the glitchy stuff and the polygons and the lack of colors mainly. It leads it to not being exactly real. But do you know what I think really sells this is the how and why. You see, Marina always seems to be interested in reality, or almost lack thereof. We've seen pieces of dialogue where she talks about how they are all living in a simulation and free will is a lie. So it is my thought that she started messing with simulations and tests on reality, just trying to figure out if her theories were right. And I think one of those tests went wrong and sucked her up into a different reality, or a simulation, in the process. Now I think there are two ways it could branch off. One is that Pearl and Agent 8 went to find Marina since she went missing, or what I think is more likely because of one of the pieces of dialogue from Dead Fish, is that when the experiment went awry, some people, specifically from what we've seen people close to Marina, got sucked in too. Okay, another detail is about the Pearl drone, because I think we can find an answer for the inconsistency. One answer could be that Agent 8 just thinks she sees Pearl when really she sees the drone, but I think that's not a good enough answer, especially because we see Pearl in her new outfit. So, another one is that Pearl, as an Inkling, does find Agent 8, but after either stays safe somewhere else and helps Agent 8 from afar using the drone, she somehow gets turned into a drone. It's in a simulation, it could happen. Or what I'm leaning to most is that she gets captured and then builds or finds a drone that she can then use to help 8 while she's captured. Now, for the final question. The final thing I want to predict. Who's the final boss? The big bad of Side Order. First, I think that we should start talking about who I think people will think is the main antagonist, Marina. Now, I don't think she'll be the true villain. I do think we will fight her, or a version of her anyways. Now, you're probably asking why I think this, so I'll explain. I think that the main antagonist, the big bad, is a virus in the simulation trying to take over. And I think the virus has gotten a hold of Marina, which is why we're going to need to fight her. We also don't really see Marina in the trailers. There's that one picture from the first trailer, but we haven't gotten the chance to see her. And to what this virus actually is, I have two theories on that. One is that the virus is trying to spread order all over the world, and to make that more uniform and just orderly. Or, what I think would be the more interesting option, is that the virus is trying to spread chaos across the perfect land, and you're trying to fight for Side Order. That's all I can get into today, although comment below if you want me to make a video trying to write what I would do for Side Order. And if you enjoyed the video, super jump over to that like button, splat the subscribe, and ring the notification bell. And as always, stay fresh, stay off the hook, stay cool, and catch ya later, Squid and Octo kids.